The record in the matter 24 CF 252, State of Wisconsin versus Andrew Sonnenberg. The state appears through Assistant District Attorney Kevin Schmidt in person. We have Mr. Sonnenberg, who is appearing in person in custody without counsel. We're set here today on two matters. Well, actually, three matters, Mr. Sonnenberg. One is a return on warrant. An arrest warrant was issued.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're diving into a courtroom clash that sets the tone from the very start. Judge Mag calls out Andrew Sonnenberg, who stands before the court in custody and without a lawyer, already signaling this won't be ordinary. The judge lays down not one, not two, but 5 heavy charges: reckless endangerment, resisting an officer, trespassing, disorderly conduct, and violating a restraining order with domestic abuse enhancers. This isn't a simple rap sheet, it's a red flag factory on full display. Every count stacks higher, every enhancer paints a darker picture. And the boldest move yet? Sonnenberg says he'll represent himself. No safety net, no professional defense, just him alone against the state. It feels less like a defense strategy and more like walking into fire with no shield.
The second thing is now for the court to set bail and get bond conditions. And the third thing is an initial appearance. I have to do 2 of those 3 things, but the initial appearance I can either continue today or I can adjourn it to a different day and allow you to apply for a public defender or retain your own private attorney so that you can have an attorney with you at that initial appearance date. Because you have 5 charges against you. One is first-degree recklessly endangering safety and F felony, use of a dangerous weapon. The second is resisting or obstructing an officer, an A misdemeanor, as a repeater. The third is violating an harassment restraining order, a U misdemeanor. The fourth is criminal trespass to dwelling, an A misdemeanor. Oh, the violating restraining order, U misdemeanor, is a repeater and has a domestic abuse enhancer. The fourth criminal charge is criminal trespass to a dwelling.
All right, guys, now watch this decision point unfold. The judge offers Sonnenberg a clear way out: delay the initial appearance, apply for a public defender, or even bring in private counsel. Any rational person would take the lifeline. But Sonnenberg doubles down, saying he'll push ahead on his own. It's a move that turns this hearing into a high-risk gamble. The judge tries to keep him aware, reminding him that with a felony in play, a preliminary hearing will come quickly. Yet Sonnenberg frames it as urgency, claiming he wants to push forward just to get bail set faster. You can sense the room tighten. On one side, the court system trying to steady the process, and on the other, a defendant who seems more determined to play speed chess with his own freedom. The suspense rises, and the prosecutor is about to hit back with a devastating request.
As a repeater and with the domestic abuse enhancer. So there are 5 serious charges against you. So either we can go through and have the initial appearance here today by yourself with you representing yourself, or you have the option to say, you know what, Judge, I want to and I need to apply for a public defender, and I'd like to have an attorney with me. So please set that for another day so I can have an attorney with me. So you can either do it yourself or I can move it to another day. Okay? All right. So do you know what you wish to do? Would you like to move forward with your initial appearance here today, or would you like me to move it to another date and time?
I'd like to move forward.
You would like to move forward and set it for a preliminary hearing, because that's what I'm going to need to do, because it has a felony, and with a preliminary hearing, I'm going to need to set it, and it's going to need to be within like 10 days, your next hearing.
I'll just go forward with me represent myself as today so I can get bond.
Oh, I'm going to set bond anyway.
Oh, okay.
Bond will be set.
Okay.
So I'll set, why don't we do that first? We'll set bail first, then I'll ask you that question. All right, Mr. Schmidt, argument and bail recommendation, please.
I would ask for a bond of $50,000 cash. In terms of failed appearances, he doesn't have that many. The last one I can find is from 2023 in a Polk County disorderly conduct case. Big reason for that is there's a huge gap in his state criminal history because he served a very long federal prison sentence related to a drug conspiracy. This case, the reason I'm asking for the high cash bond has primarily to do with his state as well as what the actual conduct was at the scene. There's body cam in this case that depicts officers arriving at scene at a residence on a domestic call. The residence they're approaching has a small deck that kind of just goes around a single door entrance. It's like a split level where you go up a staircase, but it's a very long staircase. So it's almost like it goes straight to the second floor. The victim of the domestic comes out, tells police he has a knife. From the body cam, you see the officers approach the door. They see Mr. Sonnenberg at the top of the stairs. Mr. Sonnenberg charges down the stairs. Officer Zajac braces against the outer storm door, which is one of those flimsy kind of doors. It's got two window panes right there in the middle. He braces against it as Mr. Sonnenberg crashes against the door. Mr. Sonnenberg then tries to shoulder his way out of the door. You can see through the windows in the door, Mr. Sonnenberg is holding three items. He's holding two knives and a flashlight. Mr. Sonnenberg is seen on the body cam adjusting his grip, making it so that in his left hand, he has a knife where the knife is coming straight up like that. And the right hand, he adjusts it so the knife is going straight down, flashlight straight up on the right hand. He then tries to stab through the window towards Officer Zajac.
Now the tension hits a whole new level. The prosecutor doesn't just request a $50,000 bond. He unleashes a narrative that chills the courtroom. He describes body cam footage that feels ripped from a thriller. Officers arrive at a domestic call, only to see Sonnenberg appear at the top of a staircase armed with two knives and a flashlight. He barrels down, slams into the door, and shifts his grip into attack position. Knife upright in one hand, blade down in the other, flashlight clenched like a weapon. Then comes the most terrifying part. He tries stabbing through the glass, inches from an officer's head. The scene plays out with cinematic brutality, but it's not fiction. It's real, dangerous, and almost deadly. The description is so vivid you can feel the adrenaline spike, and the courtroom knows this isn't an ordinary bail hearing anymore.
The knife isn't aimed towards the center of the pane. Officer Zajac's head is close to the window pane on the weather door. It comes within, I'd say, centimeters or inches, but does not get through the glass. Officer Zajac retreats after Mr. Sonnenberg tries to stab through the door. Mr. Sonnenberg charges out the door, dual fisting the two knives when officers fire upon Mr. Sonnenberg. Mr. Sonnenberg is so intoxicated at this point that he can't identify to officers where he was shot when they're trying to administer first aid. When the officers ask why Mr. Sonnenberg was doing what he was doing, he said he just wanted to die. He makes statements indicative of wanting to commit death by police. The domestic victims also make statements that he said he's wanted to do that in the past before. The state is of grave concern here because one,
Here's where the entire case shifts on its axis. The prosecutor reveals this wasn't just an act of violence. It may have been a suicide by cop attempt. Sonnenberg, intoxicated beyond control, couldn't even tell where he'd been shot. His own words to officers showed a man who seemed to want them to end his life. Suddenly, the knife attack takes on a different light, tragic desperation wrapped in violence. What moments earlier looked like sheer aggression now feels like self-destruction in its darkest form. The courtroom atmosphere changes instantly, heavy with unease. It's not just about public safety anymore. It's about a man who turned despair into a weapon. That revelation reframes the entire case, and everyone in the room feels the weight of it.
State that Mr. Sonnenberg was in with the intoxication. When they talked with the person he was with prior that evening, how much he drank, she said he drank 2 liters of vodka before heading there just that day. The domestic angle is highly concerning. The victim has been a victim of domestic violence with Mr. Sonnenberg in the past. He wasn't even supposed to be there. There was a restraining order. That's why she called the police initially. That's part of the charge there. With the domestic angle, with the high level intoxication, with the aggressive instant act of violence towards law enforcement. I think the high cash is necessary to protect the community. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sonnenberg, I'm now going to turn to you. You have an opportunity to argue to me against what Mr. Schmidt has argued for bond and bail. So is there anything that you would like me to know?
Yeah, I do not remember, but I drank a half a gallon of vodka, and I don't usually do that. That was my first time ever drinking vodka like that. I usually drink these, but when I get into it with my family, I intend to take myself out and self-indulge, and I know that's not right because I need help, you know, and I don't know, I'm not the one to ask for help, but now I know that I need help because I'm here. Otherwise I could have died, you know. I don't remember none of that. All I remember is thinking that her cousins were coming over. Her cousins be shooting guns next door, the little guys. That's what I thought had in my mind. But in time, in court, my sisters and my family will come tell you that I try to ask for help because I call on myself. That's why I got.
Get ready, because the revelations only deepen here. The prosecutor explains Sonnenberg drank nearly half a gallon of vodka that day, a staggering amount of alcohol. Add to that the fact he broke a restraining order to be at the victim's home, and the danger escalates even higher. But when Sonnenberg speaks, the story takes a raw turn. He admits when he drinks, he spirals into chaos, sometimes even calling police on himself just to feel safe. He claims it wasn't about hurting others, it was about trying to cope, however destructively. Still, his words don't erase the reality. He put lives at risk and crossed line after line. Watching him, you can't help but ask, are we seeing a criminal running wild, or a broken man begging for help in the worst possible way? That haunting question lingers long after his words.
To have the cops come because I feel safety, and that's why I got priors in Polk County, because in order for them to let me inside, they had to charge me. And I didn't care because that's what I thought. My life was in danger outside of here, you know. But what my dad and them guys said to me, you know. And I haven't had help with my mind from my 2006 accident because I got lacerations and I had a head injury in 2006. In 2007, I go to jail. In 2008, I get indicted to 17 years. So I never had the proper things to go with my mind. And when I get drunk, I go back to a mentality like I'm in a cell again, back to USP Florence. And that's where my trauma happens. In the USP Florence, the natives would give you knives to hang on because that's the part of life in there. And that's embedded in me because that's how I had to live. And I don't intend to hurt nobody. I just hurt me and my daughter, you know. And back in the day, I'm labeled already. I got charged for attempted murder back in the day, and I was the one that got stabbed. You know. Then they took my brother because he was eating a hot dog and a ketchup dropped on his boot. They took him too for attempted murder. It went from attempted murder all the way down to disorderly conduct, time served. So.
All right, guys, the final stretch takes us deep into Sonnenberg's past, and it's heavy. He talks about a head injury from 2006, years of trauma behind bars, and living in a prison culture where knives meant survival. He says the system labeled him violent long ago, and every step since has reinforced that stigma. His voice cracks between confession and desperation, as he insists he never meant to hurt others, only himself. It's a window into a man fractured by both his past and his own choices. But just as he pours his soul out, the judge delivers a sobering reminder. Anything he says here can be used against him. It's a chilling end to a hearing that started with charges and ended with raw human struggle laid bare. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.
Getting out the hospital in Ramsey County, I don't know, they're coming and they're calling me a cop killer and they're pushing me. And I was like, man, I can't barely walk. You know, it's on recording. So when I get down here to booking, I take 5 steps and the booking officer says to go take your scan or whatever. And he makes the remark saying, "Oh, sorry, we jumped the gun." You know what I'm saying? And I said, "Why would you say that to me, man?" You know what I mean? He's labeling me. So I'm always getting labeled, but I haven't had the proper help to go seek my damage to my dome. And then
And at a bail hearing, you have the ability to say anything that you want to say. I'm just going to caution you now because you're going from your past. Now you're going into the actual incident itself and the things that happened afterwards. And I want to caution you because anything that
Okay.
you say in here can be used against
Sure,
you
sure.
in the case against you. Okay.
Sure.
Not that I'm